with the night burning bright, yeah, no stop. Wheels scream and spit that fire, dirt and gravel, they pop. Oh, slick under the street lights, the shadows start to dance. Adrenaline like thunder, man, give me that last chance. Wednesday night, street fights, racing for the win. Broken steel and busted dreams, we wear it on our skin. Smell the fumes, taste the danger, hold tight to the wheel. This ain't no love song, baby, this is raw real. Crowds gather up like wolves, howling for that speed. Races blood pumping fast, gasoline is all they need. Tracks alive like a monster, the dirt flies and bends. Ruthless turns, hard turns, savage till the night ends. Wednesday night, street fights, racing for the win. Broken steel and busted dreams, we wear it on our skin. Smell the fumes, taste the danger, hold tight to the wheel. This ain't no love song, baby, this is raw real. Underneath the moonlight, crowds roar so loud. Pride's in the throttle, not in faces of a crowd. A brotherhood of metal, sweat, gears that grind. Cross that line or get left behind. Cold air cuts the dawn, still our fires rage. Holding bruises like trophies, exhaling battle cage. The stands are empty now, but the ghosts they remain. This dirt track story sings forever in our veins. Wednesday night, street fights, racing for the win. Broken steel and busted dreams, we wear it on our skin. Smell the fumes, taste the danger, hold tight to the wheel. This ain't no love song, baby, this is raw real. This is raw real.
Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome in as we get ready to rock and roll here from Fairbury Speedway. The practice session has come to a close here, so drivers have their cars ready to rock and roll. They are all prepped and ready to go to battle here. Qualifying about to come right at you here. Drivers are going to try to put themselves on the front row here and trying to race their way in here to our A main feature event. 65 laps of racing action here around the beautiful Fairbury Speedway with the Wednesday night street fights. The Dirt Warrior Racing League back in action here this evening as drivers going to jump out onto the racetrack here. They're going to look to try to lay down their quick times out there on the speedway as here comes that Twisted Speed, the Hot Carl chassis, Napa Auto Parts, number 76, Brandon Van Houten. Van Houten looking to try to run a great lap out there on the speedway, looking to put himself into the picture to win here this afternoon. We do see Dylan Simmons, he's jumping out there in that white knuckle setup shop. Sunrise Racing, number 33. Here comes Kevin Bowley. Bowley out there as well in that rocket chassis, that beautiful Tommy Gun Customs ride in the 30V out there on the speedway as well. Chris Herrera out there in that number 7 ride, looking to lay down a lap time here, as same with the beautiful full throttle 37 of Michael Boyd. Nicholas Mole out there as well in that beautiful 248 machine. Jumps out there onto the speedway. The Dynamite Axle number 248 ride slides out there onto the racetrack. Here comes Jacob Morgan in the Playboy Morgan Family Gaming number 32 machine out there onto the racetrack. As great run right here. We see the beautiful Memphis Grizzlies TNT Racing ride. That's Tim the Toolman Taylor out there on the racetrack. Tim slides out there onto the speedway. Now here comes Lon Franks as well in his Dirt Warrior Racing League number 10. Looks like he's going to jump up into about the 9th position. His quick time on the racetrack goes to Tyler Jackson. T-Jack quickest here in qualifying. Massey there in second with Cameron Stefanski, Jackie Whaley, and right now it was Chris Herrera, who was in position number 7, but he'll get slid out of that 7th spot, is up into 3rd in that 3 ride. That is the HNL machine of Douglas Stewart. Tim the Toolman Taylor up to 4th. Stefanski falls back into position number 5. Michael Boyd, he's still out there on the racetrack trying to get some good laps in here with his car. Tyson Pankow in that JP Designs Bulletproof Motorsports ride up into 10th. Evan Stefanski now into 13th. Jacob Stefanski all the way back in 19th as here comes Jeremy Akins. Akins going to get done his lap time there. Jumps up into 16th. Woo, baby! Got a big field, a lot of great drivers out there on the speedway. Here comes Adam Oxley. Oxley looking to try to lay down a great lap time here in that beautiful 3:57 ride out there on the racetrack. Oxley looking to try to slide up inside the top 20 here, trying to race his way into the show here this evening. As Oxley with a great lap jumps up into 9th, so he does jump into a qualifying position. We see Marcos Pace out there as well. Marcos looking to try to slide a great lap, unfortunately gets into the tires here in that TNT Racing Platinum Resources 5.6 graphics ride. Gets into the tires right there, unfortunately does not get that lap in. He'll have to try to reset and try that all over again. Still waiting for Colby Christensen, Jonathan Wade to qualify here. We're still waiting for Zach Clark to jump out there. Same with Dylan Cool and Justin Wilson. Kyle Fallis also not out there on the racetrack as of yet, as well as Dylan Cool. Oh, Marco's Pace up into the wall again here. Marco's having a tough go here at Fairbury. That 47 ride's taking a beating here in a couple of laps out there on the racetrack. As here comes that beautiful 01 race on Texas.com. 7:27 is Zach Clark. Clark jumps out there. He's looking to try to lay down a great lap time. Gets a little bit too close to those tires. Unfortunately, may have gotten a piece of him there. Looks like he'll get his car reset here once again. Looks like he's going to try and see if he can get another lap out there on the racetrack. So he's got that car reset. He'll get it fired up, see if he can hit that first corner correctly here this afternoon. As ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you're just tuning in, make sure you guys do us a favor. Hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that follow and subscribe button. As Craig Michael Deacon coming in, show the love, says, let's go Showstopper. Cheering on Jamie Massey out there on the speedway. As Lori coming in, cheering on that 76 of Brandon Van Houten. As Brad Hunt, my boy Bad Brad Racing coming in with that like on the stream. Craig Michael Deacon coming in with that like as well. Jennifer Frazier, hopefully I'm saying that right. Jennifer coming in with that like on the stream, as well as Mama Bear, Susie Dickinson. Mama Bear coming in, showing the love here in this one. Tyler Robinson coming in as well, smashing that like on the stream. As looks like Zach Clark unfortunately will not get a lap time in there with the contact on that first lap, and unfortunately will not qualify here this afternoon. Now he may get a provisional into this racing with Marcos Pace and some of the other drivers that are well known and have raced with the DWR guys a few times and know that they're good, hard, clean drivers out there on the speedway. And that means we'll get ready now for our warm-up session as the lights are starting to come on here at Fairbury Speedway, as the Wednesday night street fights is about to commence for their main feature event in just a few more moments. Oh, baby, this is going to be a lot of fun. This is going to be a great race, man. This is a track where we can see a little bit of 3-4 4, maybe even 5 wide down through these corners. A lot of different lines, a lot of different lanes for drivers to try to navigate this speedway. We'll see some drivers right down on those tires, trying to hug the tires as much as possible. Other drivers beating down that outside fence. Other cats maybe not taking the risk of trying to run too tight to the tires, not wanting to bounce that right rear off of the outside fence. Going to be rolling down through that middle side as well. So we're going to see a lot of different driving lanes, and we're going to see this racetrack really take form, really take shape, and see drivers have to move around the speedway a little bit, try to find that speed, try to find that momentum in some of the other areas out there on the racetrack, as we do see these cats slide out there onto the speedway. Beautiful looking ride here for the 304 Roots Dirt Warrior Racing League number 720 rider, Jackie Whaley. Whaley looking very sharp out there on the racetrack. Loving that paint scheme, man. That's a beautiful looking ride out there on the speedway. Cameron Stefanski slides out there in that Sunrise Racing number 2. The WP Creative Designs ride looking fresh out there on the speedway. And there he is, Nathan Drapo, the Witch Doctor, back out there onto the racetrack as well. Good to see the Witch Doctor out there on the speedway, getting ready to battle here this afternoon. Chris Herrera in the TWN number 7 ride sits right now in the top spot here. Quickest in this warm-up session. Massey back there in a different paint scheme here. He's in the JRE 19 ride here. This is a throwback paint scheme here for that number 19 machine out there on the racetrack. The iRacing iFlag Evo 1 graphics, which is now the Grumpy graphics out there on the racetrack for the JRE iRacing iFly KC Speedworks HNL number 119 ride, rolling out there on the racetrack. Currently second here in this warm-up session. Douglas Stewart out there in his HNL number 3 ride. He sits in 20th, battling hard right here with that 720 ride of the 727 ride. That is Zach Clark that's rolling back there as well with him here. You do see Cameron Stefanski, Marcos Pace there as well as now Jackie Whaley lays out a great lap time, and Whaley jumps to the top of the speed charts here. So Whaley looks like he's got that 720 ride hooked up here this afternoon. We'll see what he can do in that DWR 304 Roots iRacing iFlag ride here this evening. Marcos Pace back there sits 7th right now. Jeremy Aikens currently 9th quickest here in warm-up as the 7X ride. A new looking paint scheme here for the number 7X. It's Jacob Stefanski in that Tommy Gun Customs Sunrise Racing ride out there on the speedway as he rolls back in that 10th spot right now. We do see the 357 currently sits 11th. Brandon Van Houten, he's out there on the racetrack again. He's laying some lap times down. All these drivers are working on their cars and also starting to work this racetrack in. So they're really starting to get this racetrack work back in here. The track crew went to work, made sure that it was absolutely pristine and ready to roll here this afternoon. So we'll see these drivers slide out there, have some great battles, some great ups and downs out there on the speedway. See the 25 ride. That is Donnie Gibson. Donnie out there in that tracker boats at number 25 ride. He's going to get a little contact there, and around goes that 45 as Stephen Barrow. Is Barrow going to go around? Here comes Tim the Toolman Taylor, his TNT Racing teammate, right there with him. Charles Davis out there in that 50 ride, looking pretty as always in that purple and white machine, and T-Jack Tyler Jackson, T-Jack out there as well. The iRacing iFlag, Dirt Panda, DWR, the T-Jack, the Alpha Shark, looking fresh out there on the speedway. Another beautiful looking paint scheme here for Tyler Jackson. Loving the sharks on it, man. This car is looking sharp and definitely looking to take a bite out of the field here this evening. He's looking to try to be the Alpha Shark again here this afternoon, looking to try to put himself back up and into victory lane, as we'll see all these drivers duke it out here for 65 laps of racing action here this afternoon. In just a few more moments, we'll go back to Green Flag Racing as James Beaver says, "What's up? What's up, James? How are you, brother?" James coming in, showing the love. Brad Beaver's coming in with that like on the stream. Jeremy Aikens with that share as Tim the Toolman Taylor says, "Must be something wrong with scoring for me in top 10. There's nothing wrong with it, Timmy. There's nothing wrong with it, brother. It just means that you're hooked up. You're ready to rumble. You're ready to race and see if you can put yourself up and onto the podium, maybe into victory lane here this afternoon." And we love seeing Tim the Toolman Taylor up there inside the inside the top 10, having a great qualifying run, having a good car, and having some fun out there on the speedway. We'll get ready to see him continue to battle here this afternoon as drivers getting done their warm-up session. That means we're going to get ready to go go. Green flag racing here in just a few more moments as every one of them is going to jump out there onto the racetrack, and we'll get ready to set them loose. Now, I'm not exactly sure on how many we are taking here. Could be 24, could be 30, could be 35 drivers potentially out there on the racetrack seeing this green flag fly. And starting on the pole will be that Alpha Shark number 8 rider Tyler Jackson. To his outside is that 190 JRE Grumpy Graphics iRacing iFlying ride, the HNL ride of Jamie Massey there in second. Starting back in third in the Tommy Gun Custom Sexton's Paint and Body Conky Floyd Consulting 101 machine. That is Jacob Sexton. To his outside of the HNL number 3. That is Douglas Stewart. Starting in position number 5 in the TNT Racing Memphis Grizzlies ride. That is Tim Taylor there in 5th. To his outside in the Sunrise Racing number 2. It's Cameron Stefanski. Starting in position number 7 in the 720 ride. That is the 304 Roots DWR machine of Jackie Whaley. To his outside in the beautiful number 36 is Chris Herrera back there in position number 8. Then we see the number, I believe it is the 357 of Adam Oxley starting there in 9th. To his outside will be that 25 ride, the Bass Pro Shops Tracker Boats machine of Donnie Gibson rounding out our top 10. Then we see Nicholas Mall out there as well in the number 248 ride. Brandon Van Houten, Tyson Pankow, Evan Stefanski, Lon Franks and his DWR iRacing iFlag ride back there in 15th with Jeremy Aikens, the 33 and Dylan Simmons, the 19 rider Dakota Proud, Charles Davis, Jim Revis, Jacob Stefanski in that 7X ride, Kevin Bowley out there in the 22, Chris Hill in that beautiful 5H Conky Floyd Consulting ride back there in 23rd, Zach Clark, Nathan Trepo, Marcos Pace, Stephen Barrow and Tyler Jackson taking the EOL here this evening, starting back in 28th as we will end all the anticipation with our feature presentation as we are quickly green flag racing here at the beautiful Fairbury Speedway. And just as quickly as we went to battle and that first lap gets completed, we see the caution flag fly. So caution flag early here in this one. Drivers getting tied up, drivers going around, and unfortunately for Chris Herrera in the 7 ride, looks like he's going to run into some problems. Gets up into the outside fence right there, and then down the back straightaway, 3, almost 4 wide, and they're just going to come down through the bumps. Looks like the 2's going to get a little tight, and unfortunately, he just kind of gets sandwiched right there. The 2 down through these bumps here. It is really bad here at Fairbury Speedway. And for that 2 ride, Stefanski just trying to get through there. They are 4 wide here down the back straightaway on that opening lap. He may have got a little help here, a little contact into that door as well for that number 2 machine. And unfortunately just washes back up the racetrack. The car is hop, skipping, and jumping, pushes up the speedway. And unfortunately slides right towards that 7 ride. Maybe a little net code right there. Maybe a little contact. The 25 maybe helping him in there as well. Unfortunately, hard contact up and into the outside fence there through corner number 4, and then on the front straightaway as well. And then he's going to collect the 22. That's Evan Stefanski who gets tanked right there. Evan's going to go around. He gets in some damage. Chris Hill gets some contact as well as that 30 ride of Bowley. And unfortunately, quite a few tore up race cars here early on in this race. And then T-Jack's going to get clobbered right there as well as the 22's trying to head down pit side. Unfortunately slides right into that passenger side door of that number 8 machine as we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, ready to go back to green flag racing. Jamie Massey, Jacob Sexton, 1 and 2 getting ready to go back to green flag racing as Marcos Pace says from the back, baby. Let's go, Marcos. Get it, baby. Let's go. As Mama Bear cheering on Lon Franks, cheering on Jim Revis, and all these amazing drivers as here we go back to green flag racing with the Wednesday night street fights. The Dirt Warrior Racing League back in action, and it's Jamie Massey out in front looking to try to hold down the fort here and trying to keep all these drivers back there at bay for another, 63, 64 laps here this afternoon. 61 laps now. We can click off laps here at Fairbury in a quick hurry. It's Jamie Massey out in front. It's Sexton there in second. Then we see Douglas Stewart having a great run. Good to see Stewart back out there on the racetrack as well as Douglas rolls in position number 3 in that 3 ride. Tim Taylor, he talked about how he wasn't sure how he was up inside the top 10 there in qualifying, but here he is moving up a spot early on, sits in position number 4 and looking for more, but Jackie Whaley putting the pressure here on him. Whaley right there, and now here comes that 2 ride of Cameron Stefanski down low. Cameron, after making that contact, luckily enough didn't get very much damage himself, and still trying to battle his way inside the top 5 out there on the speedway. It's William Hargraves back there in that Dirt Panda. Malum Electric, Joyride Designs, Vibbs Laker 71H machine. He rolls back in 7th with Adam Oxley in that 357 ride right there in position number 8. Tyson Pankow now up into 9th, and now inside the top 10 is that 10 right along Franks, as Frank's able to slide up just in front of that 76 of Brandon Van Houten, keeping Van Houten back in the 11th position. Dylan Simmons there in 12th with Jacob Stefanski and Tyler Jackson, who was supposed to start in that pole position. Unfortunately, after winning last week's race, had to take the EOL here, and he will start at the back of the pack and already racing his way up. He's about midfield already. He's clicked them off in a quick hurry. Now these passes are going to get tougher and tougher and tougher. The quicker drivers up at the front of the field going to make these passes that much harder for Tyler Jackson to roll out there, and as that bottom lane starts to get more and more, slippery out there, it starts to get back down. We start to see that slickness kind of reach that bottom lane. The upside groove may start to prove a little bit more dominant, and we may see a lot of drivers just rolling around this 8 ride. But late in the race, the bottom side usually comes in, and T-Jack can find some great speed down there. And we've seen him time and time again find his way into victory lane here at Fairbury, doing exactly what he's doing right now, and that's just be patient, keep hitting his marks, roll these tires, and keep himself out of trouble out there on the speedway as he makes a little 2-for-1 pass down the back straightaway, getting around Dylan Simmons and Jacob Stefanski, and now puts himself up into position number 12. As Donnie Gibson back there in the 15th position, we see Jim Ravis right there behind him. Jim, he's up about 6 spots on the racetrack here, now into that 16th spot on the speedway. Dakota Brown there behind him. Marco's Base up 14 spots. He rolls there in 18th, trying to come from the back of the pack as well in that TNT Racing 47 ride. And all the way from Australia, tuning in and showing up and showing out again this afternoon with the DWRL here this evening. Zach Clark, the Race on Texas ride, rolls there in position number 19, already up 12 spots here for Zachary Jane Clark in the 727 ride as Jeremy Aikens rounds out our top 20. Charles Davis, Evan Stefanski, Stephen Barrow back there in position 23. He's got the Witch Doctor Nathan Trepo down to his inside as Trepo trying to race his way up towards the front of the pack here as Kevin Bowley, Chris Hill, Nicholas Mole, and Chris Herrera unfortunately rounding out our top 28 here as Chris is down still on pit road here. Tough break there for that 7 ride, down and potentially out of this race early on this afternoon as he sits down on pit lane watching the rest of these drivers continue to battle. And here we go, we're starting to see some of this battling as out in front it's Jamie Massey, a solid lead, about 2.5 seconds out in front of the field here, but he's starting to run into some heavy lap traffic. It's going to get very treacherous, and it's a dangerous game trying to work yourself around some of this lap traffic. Drivers that are struggling out there on the speedway can make easy mistakes, could get you tied up into some of the wrecks and some of the action out there, so you got to be very cautious if you're that race leader trying to pick and choose your times to strike and try to work yourself around some of these drivers, and knowing that at any moment in time they could make a mistake, door slam you, spin you out, or have a problem just like we see right there, come down over your nose and unfortunately make some heavy contact and maybe some good damage to your race car. And for that 42 NT ride, the Witch Doctor Nathan Trepo definitely damage that he did not want to see as Kevin Bowley unfortunately just gets loose out of corner number 4 there, makes contact with him. Now you see Jamie Massey trying to get around the Witch Doctor there, got very close down in the corner entry. He's running different lines. That 42 ride not expecting where he's running out there on the racetrack as you see Chris Hill up and over the banking there. Looks like he's going to take his car right down into the infield and potentially off of the racetrack. Heartbreaker right there for Chris Hill as that's going to take him down pit side, already a lap, multiple laps down now, and as he sits down on pit lane, his day may be over. As Massey still working himself through the traffic, Jacob Sexton isn't really closed the gap here. He's still losing time to that number 19 ride and unfortunately sits back there in position number 2, seeing that gap continue to spread out farther and farther between him and our race leader, but could be playing that bit of a cat and mouse game out there on the speedway, knowing that Massey is dealing with lap traffic, is rolling fast laps out there on the racetrack, could potentially just try to save some tire back here, saving a little tire, making sure he got something left in the tank here. If we see that late race caution flag fly, which is always more than usual here at Fairbury, then you could potentially have the better car than that 19 ride if he's burning up his equipment, rolling fast laps here at the front of the field. But for Massey, right now, his goal is just to try to put as many of these drivers a lap down, hoping not to see any caution flags and hoping to keep these drivers at bay and seeing this race go clean and green and just run away with it. By the time even they start to roll into some of this lap traffic, already out in front by 3.5 seconds. Who knows if we stay on this pace, maybe he'll lap the entire field here this evening, but it's going to get very, very tough to do as we're almost halfway through this race already. The laps here at Fairbury, they get taken out in a quick hurry, ladies and gentlemen. These laps get counted down very quickly, but you see some contact right there in front of our second place driver for Sexton, having to get onto the binders there, having to check up. That's going to bring Douglas Stewart, the 720 rider, Jackie Whaley, and Tim the Toolman Taylor right there close to his back bumper. They inch it a little farther here as he sees this racing action at the back of the pack. These drivers are a lap down in their 3 wide, battling out there on the speedway, beating and banging, rubbing and scrubbing out there on the racetrack. None of them wanting to give up a spot, wanting to still battle hard here amongst each other. And unfortunately for some of the lead lap cars, they're struggling here, trying to get through some of that action on the racetrack. Is Massey continuing to pull away here, almost 5 seconds. There it is, down through quarter 1 and 2. He'll open up a 5-second gap between himself and Jacob Sexton. Is now Sexton trying to hold on to second here as here comes that 3 ride. That's Douglas Stewart right up against the rim here. He's looking to take over position number 2. He will take that second spot away from the 101 ride as Sexton slides back into position number 3. It's Douglas Stewart now into position number 2, and now here you go. Jackie Whaley trying to work his way through some of this lap traffic. It is a hornet's nest back here, ladies and gentlemen. Everyone battling hard out there on the racetrack. Lap traffic not backing down, not going to give up the lanes out there on the speedway, and unfortunately for a lot of these drivers, it's making their day at the racetrack that much harder. As you see William Hargraves, the 8 rider Tyler Jackson, Adam Oxley, all these cats trying to race their way through this field here as it is such a dogfight. Everyone just trying to pick and choose their lane and hope that they can make it through there cleanly. And for our race leader now, 6 seconds between himself and Douglas Stewart in the 101 of Sexton, as they're still door to door for position number 2 on the racetrack. As my boy Justin coming in, setting it off here in this one. JT coming in with the 100-star dono. The big D of the day says, dirt, huh? Dirt, huh? Yes, Sarsky. A little dirt track racing action here this evening as these drivers putting on one heck of a show for us. And it's Jamie Massey out in front, continuing to try to pull away from everybody else as they're just trying to hunt him down, looking to see if they can find a way around him. But the gap is almost half a track now. Almost half a track between himself and our second place battle on the racetrack as the gap grows to about 7 seconds here. About 7 seconds, half a racetrack, and they're still dealing with some of this lap traffic. They're still battling each other out there on the speedway as well as trying to get around this 42 NT ride. That is Nathan Trepo not giving up that spot, not letting these lead lap cars go around him, and they're going to have to battle even harder. Now they make a little contact. They get long jammed. Here comes Jackie Whaley. Whaley slides in there. A little contact between him and Douglas Stewart. Stewart goes up to the high side. Jackie Whaley down the bottom side. He's looking to take over position number 3. That was an open door for him as you see this slew of lead lap drivers now starting to catch up to our second and third place competitors on the racetrack. That's T-Jack, Tyler Jackson, who started at the rear of the field here, trying to race his way inside the top 5, leading on that 2 machine of Cameron Stefanski. Cameron slides up the racetrack. Now he's going to lean on Adam Oxley. Oxley trying to keep himself out of it. Contact, around goes the 2 ride, down on the apron. No caution flag. We keep it clean and green. Clean and Green out there on the speedway. Tough break there for that 2:48 ride. Unfortunately for Nicholas, definitely not his afternoon, definitely not his day, and unfortunately there for that beautiful looking ride, he's unfortunately now down pit side here and potentially out of this race, as out in front, continuing to lead the way, that is Jamie Massey. Massey looking to try to put our 17th place driver a lap down on the racetrack is Jim Revis, trying to hold him at bay here as Revis rolls back there in 17th, just trying to keep himself on the lead lap and still in the action here this evening. And then Stefanski right there, as well as that TNT Racing ride of Marco's Pace. Unfortunately for the 99 of Tim Taylor, he's kind of slid back a little farther as, oh baby, contact up in the top of the field, and we see a pile up here. It's a parking lot down through corner number 3 and 4, and a lot of our front runners getting tore up right there. A lot of drivers tied up, tore up, and feeling the hurt from that one, as it looks like it starts with Nathan Tripo here. Tripo has been racing these guys hard here. He is not really giving up any of these positions. Even though he's a lap down, he is not going to move over and out of the way, and unfortunately, this time he's got to sliding up the racetrack, trying to roll that middle groove into quarter number 3. Unfortunately, the 101 right of Sexton trying to come down the racetrack, trying to dive bomb underneath that 30 right, trying to see if he can set him up for a slide job, and unfortunately, they both just end up running into each other. They run out of room in a quick hurry out there on the racetrack, as here you'll see that 101 come down, the 42's kind of coming up, they make contact, and then that just piles them all in here. The 720 ride of Jackie Whaley, you see the 357 ride of Oxley in there, Stephen Barrow in there as well. You see Tyler Jackson, T-Jack, he also gets collected here. It's Tyler Jackson and Whaley, they're up on the high side, they got nowhere to go, slide right into the side of that 42, slams hard up into the outside fence. Same with that 57 ride, and as they made that contact, the 01 ride also going around right there of Jacob Sexton, and on the bottom side of quarter number 4, all of a sudden he gets a bunch of drivers collected here as well, and even more damage, more carnage out there for these cats, as there he goes around in a couple circles, couple loop-de-loops. Unfortunate contact there with Tyson Pankow. Now you see everyone else just kind of flying in there, man. That's Jacob Stefanski. Jacob Stefanski is the 2 of Cameron Stefanski. You do see the number 91 hard contact here for Tyson Pankow. Pankow getting heavy damage, but here comes Stefanski's. Both of them sliding right in there. Heavy damage into the Sexton ride, and also William Hargraves. Looks like Will's going to get some damage here as well as he slides into that. And then you see the 25 sliding into the back end of Lon Franks. Frank's going to get a piece of this on the rear end and the front end there as he bounces off that 101 ride as well. And man, just a bunch of tore up race cars. A parking lot down there in quarter number 3 and 4. And now we'll stack them up, rack them up, get ready to go back to green flag racing. Now for Jamie Massey, he did not want to see that caution flag. Out in front by over 7 seconds on the racetrack. He was running away with it. He was hoping to see us a clean and green and see if he could park himself up and into victory lane. But now his work is going to be cut out, as he's going to have Douglas Stewart right there to his outside. Brandon Van Houten out into third. Hargraves there in 4th. Lon Franks, Marcos Pace, Evan Stefanski, Jim Revis are top 7 on the racetrack. Tyler Jackson, T-Jack, he's back there in 9th, trying to race his way back up towards the front of the field as he's able to split the middle right here, looking to try to race his way up to the front as they're 3-4 wide here at Fairbury, and they make contact. Look out, T-Jack getting collected. Oxley's in there as well. There goes that 71 of Hargraves. Hargraves is going to go around. Everyone's still slamming and slide and try to work themselves through quarter number 1. Heavy contact though, heavy damage there for the Malum Electric Dirt Panda DWR ride of Mr. William Hargraves. And look at Oxley. Oxley's airborne here. His contact out there on the racetrack. These guys just putting on a show for us up there at the front of the field. Everyone's trying to race their way to the front, trying to jump up and see if they can take this race lead. Unfortunately, they're 4 wide and through the slick stuff. And the 71 slides up. The 76 kind of slides down. They make contact. They both come down into Lon Franks. Franks nowhere to go there. Heavy damage for him. And the 71 of Hargraves unfortunately parked there in the middle of the speedway. Nowhere to go as there's Tyler Jackson, T-Jack, nothing he could do. He slams in there into the back end of that number 71 ride, and then you watch Oxley here. Oxley, really nothing he can do except for hang on and hope for the best, and unfortunately, he gets sandwiched up into the outside fence after T-Jack and Hargraves come together as he gets up into the fence. The 30 ride of Bowley comes in there, hits him, gets him airborne right there, then more carnage. Stephen Burrow, a bunch of these other drivers getting collected there as well, as we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, ready to try this one all over again as Jamie Massey continuing to lead the way as Cody Erdis' Wreckfest. It has looked like a Wreckfest the last couple laps here. Last couple laps definitely looks like a bit of a Wreckfest, but for these drivers, it was clean and green for quite a while there. We had one early caution flag and then about 40 laps of non-stop green flag racing, and I know Jamie Massey, you'd love to see that come back out, would love to see more of this green flag racing here in this one, as here we go, back to green flag racing, maybe some contact back there deeper in the field, no caution flag as of yet, as here we go, door to door, beating and banging, battling drivers back there, trying to race their way back up to the front, other drivers just trying to survive, as Tyler Jackson down low, trying to race his way, once again, back up inside the top 5, even with that damage on the 8 ride, trying to race his way up to the front of the field. I don't know if anyone or anything's going to be able to try to stop that Alpha Shark ride, but right now his DWR teammate kind of stealing his lane out there on the speedway and kind of holding him back there potentially a little bit, and that damage on that 8 machine as well, maybe hindering his performance here late in this race as Jamie Massey out in front looking to try to pick up another checkered flag here in these dirt street stocks as Douglas Stewart back there, he's trying to hang on to position number 2, and he's got the 76 of Brandon Van Houten right there with him, and look at that 47 ride. Marcos Pace, another driver from the rear of the field, now up inside the top 5 here, battling, looking to try to put himself up onto the podium as again they're a little 3 wide as here comes T-Jack, Tyler Jackson down on the bottom looking underneath of Lon Franks. Frank's gonna have to go to the middle. Here comes the 76 with a big move down low, the slide job down through 3 and 4, contact, beating and banging 3 wide racing here at Fairbury. Stewart's going to throw one back. Contact, around goes Van Houten. Nowhere to go for Stefanski's. There's Sexton also going to get tied up in that one. He's going to get shoved down into the infield, and Jim Rev is going to end up with some damage there as well. Heartbreaker right there for Brandon Van Houten after throwing a big slider here himself, making the move around that number 3 ride. Unfortunately, losing a ton of speed, a ton of momentum down this front straightaway. The 3 ride gets all this momentum even after the contact between him and Franks and sends it back down low to the inside. And as the 76 trying to get checked up here, he's trying to get checked up, trying to cut back down the racetrack, trying to race down the hill, back down through corner number 2 to cut underneath and take that inside lane away from that 3 ride. Unfortunately, as he's trying to get checked up, the 3's parking his car on the nose of the 76. They're just going to make some contact. The 47 ride of Marcos Pace, he's going to get in there, help him go around, then nowhere to go for Jim Revis, nowhere to go for that 22 ride as Stefanski there. Evan Stefanski's going to get some damage. He comes down the racetrack, ends up clobbering that Tommy Gun Customs ride of Jacob Sexton, and Sexton gets some pretty good damage there as well. Goes for a loop-de-loop down through the infield as we get ready to go back to battle. We get ready to duke it out here once again. Jamie Massey, another big restart, another opportunity here to try and keep these drivers back there at bay to try to hold them off as, I don't know, looks like potentially the 3 rider Douglas Stewart going to take a EOL there. I believe he's going to say that he caused that caution flag. Good veteran move right there, and taking that action there and putting it into his own hands, claiming that caution flag and putting himself there to the rear of the field. And heartbreaker there for him, having a strong run, a great race all evening long, battling up inside the top 2 or 3 here pretty much all afternoon. And now at the back of the pack is only 10 more laps left to go as Amy Stefanski says, hang in there, Evan. Cheering on Evan out there on the racetrack as James says, hello, wall out. Yeah, some definite heavy hits out there on the speedway, and James says, track slick as ice. The track is very, very slick, but that is a common thing here at Fairbury Speedway. This racetrack, it really, really gets slicked up, really makes it tough to battle out there on the racetrack, and for these drivers, it's going to be interesting to see how they're going to handle it here over the last 10 laps of this race. Obviously a slick track, the tires are starting to fall off. Other drivers though could have been playing that strategy game, trying to save a little bit there throughout some of this race, and maybe having a little bit better tire later on is going to help you potentially pick up the checkered flag. As here we go, back to green flag racing. A great restart right there for Jamie Massey. Massey on the lap pedal, looking to trying to pull away once again, as here comes Marco's pace. Here comes Tyler Jackson. T-Jack down on the very bottom side here, rolling his line here at Fairbury, looking to take that second spot away from that number 47 machine, but looking for that race lead. T-Jack looking to race his way from the back of the field to the front of the pack here. Same with Marco's pace, as Marco's unfortunately did not get a qualifying lap in, and unfortunately had to start at the rear of the field, and right now he is up 29 positions. Started back there at the rear of the field, getting very loose right there. Out at quarter number 2, luckily enough, able to hang on to it, but is going to lose a little time here to our race leaders as T-Jack, Tyler Jackson, and Jamie Massey. They're playing this cat-mouse game. T-Jack has a certain line that he is really, really good at here at Fairbury, and for that number 19 ride of Jamie Massey, he's just trying to make sure that he takes that line away from him or makes it so that his corner exit is going to be very, very tough. And Jamie Massey will click off another lap out there on the speedway, inching closer and closer to another checkered flag in his historic iRacing career. But Tyler Jackson does not want to give it up easily. He's trying to battle back here to his back bumper as they're starting to run some different lines out there, starting to roll up against the outside fence in corner number 1 and 2, then down to the bottom lane in corner number 3 and 4. But this time looks like T-Jack's going to stay up there on the high side. He's going to look for that cut down line, looking to take a big head of momentum down into corner number 1 and 2, trying to follow right in the tire tracks here of that 19 machine. But he's starting to run out of time, even if he can catch him. But look out, here goes a big move, maybe a slide job out there on the racetrack for the race lead. A big slide job, door to door, back down across the line. Massey able to hang on to the race lead, but T-Jack's going to battle right back. A crossover down the bank straightaway into corner number 3. Nice and easy there for Tyler Jackson. He's going to hit his marks. Here comes that crossover, but down across the line. It's too close to call. Who was the leader there at the line with 2 laps left to go? The slide job there out of Massey. Trying to kill his momentum, trying to throw that block, trying to keep T-Jack pinned down low as they're door to door out at corner number 4. As we'll see that white flag fly here in the Wednesday night street fights. Tyler Jackson down low. Jamie Massey up on the high side. Door to door down the back straightaway for the final time here this afternoon. They'll duke it out at corner number 4. T-Jack will leave the outside lane open, and it's Massey able to pick up the checker flag, putting the hammer down out of corner number 4, using that high side momentum. A big move right there for him as he was able to get that open track and battle T-Jack back down across the line. A good veteran move right there from Tyler Jackson. Could have easily thrown the block and potentially wrecked both of them, or even stuffed that 19 right into the outside fence, but good hard racing, and luckily enough both drivers able to just battle hard back down across the line as Marco's pace rounding out our top 3 there. Incredible drives for Tyler Jackson and Marco's, both coming from the rear of the field up to the front of the pack here, and for Jamie Massey to start in that pole position and just run away with this one, man, leading virtually every lap here this afternoon. A dominating performance there, but it was a nail-biter right down to the very end as we'll get ready to pull our top 3 up and into the broadcast booth as these guys put on one heck of a show, one heck of a race for us. We'll wait for them to jump into the waiting room here and pull them in for their post-race interviews. As Cody Ernest, my boy Cody, coming in with that heart reaction. As ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you guys enjoyed that racing action, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that follow and subscribe button. Even if you're just tuning in or you're re-watching the broadcast, make sure you guys jump up into that comment section right now, hit that thumbs up button, and make sure you drop a couple comments. Let us know what you thought of the broadcast, what you thought of the racing action, and make sure you become part of the Peacemaker family here today as we'll get ready to pull our race winner up here into the broadcast booth. It's Jamie Massey. Hey Jamie, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker broadcasting booth. Did you get a copy?
I got you, brother.
Jamie, man, what a run, what a drive. Take us through this one, man, as early on, obviously, get that pole position, having T-Jack have to take that EOL, go to the rear of the field, open up the door for you to take that early lead, and after that first restart, you were able to get some good green flag laps in there, start to pull away, and at one point in time, almost an 8-second gap between yourself and position number 2 out there on the speedway until some of these late race caution flags started to pop up. And unfortunately for T-Jack, he got tied up in a couple of them, hindering his efforts here this afternoon, but he was still there at the end, able to put the pressure on you door-to-door, back down across the line. Good veteran move there at a T-Jack, not stuffing you into the wall or trying to throw a big block there at a corner number 4 and wrecking the both of you. And you guys just battle back down to the line, and you were able to get the one up on him there and beat him back down across the line.
Yeah, man. I hated to see them last 2 cautions. Like I said, the top line I was running and the way I was running it was kind of going away, and he was TJ's really good on that bottom slider in 3 and 4, probably better than anybody, and I knew that I had to take that line from him, and then I missed it one time and he got a run there, and so I couldn't run that line no more. And yeah, like I said, man, I thought that when he got in that wreck, I was like, well, we're probably in good shape. Nothing, I felt like he was probably going to be the car that could get by us there. And he got in that wreck. I seen it. I could actually see him as we were lapping cars there. I could kind of see him. I was kind of watching him go through the field. And man, yeah, he got in that one, and then he came right back out, and then they wrecked again, and then it put him like 8. So I was like, dang, he restarted like 8 there, so he didn't have far to go. And um, yeah, it's he kind of was able to roll bottom and kind of move, take it easy through the field, and I was out front, just letting her eat. I mean, I wasn't running hard, but I was just trying to lap as many cars as I could, and I wanted to hope T-Jack was getting hung up and I could get to him and try to lap him. That was my intentions, and it didn't go that way. And yeah, it was a hell of a race. He left me a line there, and like I said, me and him's got a lot of respect for each other. Been doing this a long time, and I don't think you'll ever see either of us dirty each other up. Not on purpose, anyways. And if it does happen, it's we cool after the race, so that's all that matters.
Yeah, absolutely. Always cool, always fun watching you two battle out there on the racetrack. Even if there's a little rubbing and scrubbing out there, man, it is all fun and just good, hard racing. Nothing malicious about the battles that we see between you and T-Jack, or a lot of these drivers out there on the racetrack, and that's what makes this, race so fun, so awesome to watch, and seeing you guys battle out there, race after race after race, and seeing you be able to put yourself back up into victory lane here, man, has got to feel pretty good knowing that there was, 30 drivers that took the green flag here this afternoon, about 30 cars that went to that green flag, and only seeing 4 or 5 caution flags, and you were able to lead virtually every single lap out there, holding back some very, very fast cats there behind you.
Yeah, man. Like I said, I don't get to race much often anymore. I race when I can, or when, I'm trying to finish up my RL car and get ready for that, and I just don't really have a lot of time to get on the sim and race. But when I do, man, if you see a DWR race up and you like street stocks at all, you're a clown if you don't come try to race. It's some of the best guys. There's some guys out there that aren't racing anymore that are really talented that I wish that everybody could get along and everybody could race and it'd be even more of a show. But man, overall the past 3, I think I've ran 3 of these things, and I ran second, I think Monday night, and last week I ran third from last. So I knew that I needed to win this one if I was gonna have to start in the back in another one. I would want it to be at a track that I liked a little better than here. So it's all right to, at least I didn't have to start in the back, and T-Jack's so good, man. So to beat him here, like I said, I would much rather start up front and out running, but with both of us, and we'll get to do that sooner or later, and I'll have to start in the back next week, and maybe I can drive to the front and put on a show with him, or whenever they choose to run another one. Maybe I can drive from the back and put on a show with that guy. I enjoy racing with him.
Absolutely, definitely looking forward to it and hoping to see you back out there next Wednesday with Jamie. A great run, a dominating performance here this afternoon. You were able to hang on right there at the end. Put yourself up here into the Fairbury Speedway victory lane. Who'd you like to thank here for such a great run and strong performance out there on the racetrack?
Like I said, I want to take a minute to thank a lot of people who has gotten me to this point in the dirt street stock. That's prime reason I ran this car tonight. Man, started this 7 years ago, and I raced with DWR right off the rip, and I had so much respect for them guys and Jim. And I remember when Jim was where a lot of these guys are at, and I was struggling to even see where he was at, and I was running mid pack. So I wanted to run the JRE car tonight, and just give credit, a lot of credit to them guys for getting me to building me up to the street stock driver I am. I wish I raced these a little more, but I enjoy running the other cars. Like I said, man, all the teams I've been on over the years, I've had a lot of great times with a lot of great people. And the Dickinsons, man, they've been great to me. Papa Mike's Promotions, Mama Bear, they're great to me on and off the racetrack. They're a family, and I wouldn't be on this sim without them. And all my teammates, man, like I said, we put a lot of work on these late models. And yeah, man, Peter Neuter out there watching, man, he's a great guy. He's a lot of the success behind my racing too. He puts up these big late model races, and I run with him, and you know, it built me up to who I am, and I appreciate each and every one that I've raced with, and all the guys who don't like me. I love y'all. Peace out.
Absolutely, brother. Jamie, congrats on the win. Congrats on the great run here at Fairbury. And we can't wait to see you back out there on the racetrack and potentially right back up here in the broadcast booth and maybe another trip into victory lane for yourself.
Thank you, brother.
Enjoy the rest of your night. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you love him or you hate him. Nonetheless, he is our winner here this evening. So give it up for Jamie Massey as he gets the dub here at Fairbury Speedway in this week's Dirt Warrior Racing League's Wednesday night street fights. As we'll get ready now to pull in our second place driver, trying to give him a fight, trying to give him a run for his money right there, and almost stole this win away from that 19 ride of Jamie Massey. It's T-Jack, the Alpha Shark, who comes home in position number 2. Let's get T-Jack up here into the booth right now for his post-race interview. Hey, Tyler, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. They get a copy? Shh. Hey, Tyler, it's Aaron up here in the booth. Do you get a copy? Alright, T-Jack may be using the bathroom facilities right now at the racetrack. It was a long race, a lot of laps, maybe drinking a beer down in the holler. But nonetheless, we're going to get ready to pull in now our third place finisher here. We'll see if we can pull T-Jack back in here in just a little bit. Another driver that came from the back of the pack up to the front of the field to round out our podium here this evening is that 47 ride all the way from Australia. Came into play here this afternoon, had to battle his way up through a lot of chaos, carnage, and some great competitors out there on the racetrack, and it's Marcos Pace coming home in position number 3. Let's get Marcos up here into the broadcast booth. Hey, Marcos, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Did you get a copy?
Yeah, you got a copy.
Yes, sir. Marcos, brother, man, what a run, what a drive. Just like Tyler Jackson, the two of you storming up through the field and up to the front of the pack here late in this race. And you guys put on a great show there, battling between each other there for a little while on that final restart. Unfortunately, he was able to kind of just use that inside lane, pull away from you, and then he went after Jamie Massey. But you're sitting right there, the best seat in the house, watching those two duke it out, just hoping maybe they would make a little too much contact on one of those corners and maybe put you out in front of the field and taking this one away from them.
Yeah, I sort of, well, on that last restart, it was kind of, I think I started on the bottom and just tried to get to the top because that's where I felt comfortable. I was not comfortable on the bottom or through the middle. Tyler was always good on the bottom and he seemed to get that to work nicely. But I was watching the two in front of me, man. They're just in a different league and I hope I can get there one day, but I've made a lot of speed in the last couple of months, so I'm quite happy with that. But yeah, I was just sitting behind him going, well, I've come from, I think it was 32nd and I was in third. So I was like, well, I've done everything I could. I had luck, man. The wrecks that happened and I wasn't involved in, and a lot of those front guys were. There was a lot of luck behind me today, but I've been trying like the last couple of weeks to try and get up in here and talk to you, but I've been wrecked the last couple of weeks, so I haven't been able to get the chance to talk to you. But nah, it's good. It was a good race, but yeah, I was trying to follow T-Jack at the start, but man, he was flying, and then sort of found a groove on the top side with Zach Clark, and we sort of tried to work together, but we're getting held up a little bit, and then that yellow come out at lap 47, and yeah, that changed the whole race. But yeah.
Absolutely, a couple of those late race caution flags really mixing things up, really dicing things up out there on the racetrack, but you were able to survive a lot of the carnage and race your way up here onto the podium finally. And it's great to have you up here in the broadcast booth for the first time, Marcos, after some great races, some great performances, and not the finishes that you were hoping for. But here tonight, able to survive and come home with a solid third place run. And anytime you can come home third behind Jamie Massey and Tyler Jackson, man, it's got to feel like a bit of a win, keeping the rest of these guys back there at bay.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Like I said, Tyler and Jamie, I know they are very, very good street stock drivers. So I'm very, very happy to be finishing behind them. I would like to beat them, but I know how good they are. So it will be tough to beat them, but I hope one day that I'm able to do it. But just like to thank a lot of the boys that got me to this point. Stephen Baru for actually getting me into TNT racing, because I had no idea about this side, this whole league, this American side of it. So thanks to Stephen for getting me involved in TNT, and obviously Tim Taylor for being the leader of TNT. Cody Wright and Jacob Bailey for letting me know that 4-to-1 steering exists, because I didn't run on 4-to-1 until they told me. So been running 6-to-1 for quite a while. But yeah, there's a lot of guys in TNT that love racing with them, and such a good team. But yeah, thank all those guys.
Beauty, Marcos. Anyone else you'd like to shout out here, man, for your great run and great performance here this afternoon at Fairbury Speedway?
Obviously DWR guys for putting it on. Always good to be here and run with them. Always gives a good field and always competitive. So big up the DW guys for putting this on every week. And obviously you for broadcasting. I love watching your broadcast back after the race finishes, and just listening. It's awesome. So thanks for broadcasting it every week. It's really good.
Beauty. Well, brother, hopefully more and more trips for you up here into the broadcast booth. As you said, maybe one of these nights out in front, picking up the win and keeping Massey and T-Jack back there behind you, brother. We can't wait to see it happen. We know it will one of these weeks, and hopefully see you up here real quick, maybe next Wednesday or maybe even Friday night. See you up here in Victory Lane and stealing a win away from those two.
Yeah, I hope so, but we'll have to wait and find out. So it's good to finally be here talking to you.
Beauty, Marcos. Enjoy the rest of your night, brother, and congratulations on the third place finish here this evening.
Thank you.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up for the man all the way from the other side of the world. It's the guy from Australia here this afternoon, Marcos Pace. Marcos able to come up and put himself into position number 3 all the way from the land down under here this evening, as we'll get ready now to see if we can pull Tyler Jackson in this time. As T-Jack, he's in the comments section, so I'm hoping that he's back into the Discord here. Let's pull him up into the booth. Hey, Tyler, it's Aaron up here on the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Take a copy.
Hey, what's up, Aaron?
Not much. T-Jack, man. What a run. What a drive, man. Take us back through this one as you were slowly but surely, methodically, racing your way up through the field here. You start battling up inside the top 10. Then all of a sudden, a couple of these caution flanks come out, and you kind of sat there with nowhere to go. End up getting some pretty good damage onto your car, having to come down pit side there the one time. And unfortunately, kind of hindering maybe your opportunity to win this race. Didn't give you really a lot of time to, get up there and battle with Jamie Massey, where you had to make quick work of the short time that you had up there. And man, oh man, you came so close to steal this one away from him, but a tight battle back down the line. Good veteran move there, leaving the outside lane open for him. You knew he was gonna be there, and you could have stuffed him in the wall. You could have threw a big block and potentially took you both out, but you gave him that line. Unfortunately gave up the win, but great run here on the racetrack and a solid performance here at Fairbury Speedway once again for yourself. Take us back through this race and kind of what's going through your mind right now after all the action.
Yeah, started out pretty good. We are just kind of running the bottom like we planned, and we got a really long green flag run there, and I was actually getting worried we were going to have any cautions. And finally, I looked up, and I don't know, there was like 20 to go, and we were in 6th, and I couldn't even tell we were in 6th. There was so much lap traffic in front of us. But I saw 6. I got pretty excited, and then like that next lap, I decided to go the top. I said, "Oh, we're going to try to make it work on the top." And literally the lap I went to the top, they ended up wrecking up there and we got collected. But yeah, if that didn't happen, I think we'd have been sitting pretty because we would have picked off a couple that were involved in the wreck and then maybe somebody that got penalized. So yeah, if we would have started fourth or whatever with 17 to go, it would have been pretty good. I think we ended up starting 10th, I think. So I think those few positions is probably what cost me enough time to get up to Jamie. Even when we got to him, we had a little something for him. Looked like we had 3 and 4. You know, I run kind of a different line here, and I know it kind of throws the guys off because if a lot of those guys like to try to hit that same brown strip I do, they just come off the top and diamond it and hit it. So sometimes we meet in the middle there, but I was just trying to give Jamie room. I've always had a lot of respect for Jamie, and yeah, we were trying everything. Tried to top in 1 and 2, and he was running kind of a cut down, and I would stay up on the cushion, and I felt like I actually was gaining a little bit when I was doing that. But yeah, just one of those things where I mean I could have slid him maybe the last corner, but we just had an issue Sunday night with me trying to make a slider and getting punted when I did it. So I figured we'd just stay down low, and I figured he would either pass me on the top or honestly he probably could have crossed me all the way to the bottom and still got me at the line.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely a fast car out there for Jamie Massey, and that battle between you guys to finish off this afternoon's festivities was something to watch, man. Another great battle amongst the two of you, and unfortunately here in this one, he was able to get the one up on you here tonight, but you kind of be happy coming from the back of the pack, able to keep on racing even after getting tied up in a couple of those caution flags, and park yourself up here in position number 2 and back up into the podium here this evening. And next Wednesday, you don't have to start with the back of the pack now. You get to start up at the front like you could have here tonight.
Yeah, it was fun coming through traffic. Like Jamie said in his interview last week, Volusia, if we both would have started up front, it might have been different. And I feel the same way about this race tonight as he did last week. So one of these weeks we'll both start up front. But yeah, a lot of fun. I think the race was pretty smooth. I didn't see too many issues really, which is good. I mean, a lot of times you have these quarter miles and we have a lot of wrecks. So I thought the race went pretty good. One spot short, but you can't complain from the back.
Absolutely, and as you said, man, yeah, we started almost 30 cars here this afternoon, taking that green flag, and only to see, 5 or 6 caution flags, not even 6 caution flags, maybe even 4 out there on the racetrack is something awesome to see after a 65-lap feature event, only to have those few caution flags, seeing good long green flag racing and that action. I thought we were going to see a caution flag and chaos ensue, multiple laps before it ever ended up doing for that second yellow flag with only 17 laps left to go. As you said, man, it was a dogfight back there, man. All the lead lap cars trying to race through some of that lap down traffic, and unfortunately they weren't giving up as everyone else was still trying to battle for position out there, and just made for some crazy battling there for quite a little while, and some crazy contacts, some crazy saves out there, and some great racing. But nonetheless, you're able to escape through it all and keep yourself pointed the right direction, and right there at the end, almost being able to take a bite of this field and putting the Alpha Shark ride back up into victory lane. As TJ, you come home in second, man. Who would you like to thank for such a great run and great drive here this afternoon?
Yeah, and that goes to show how good a strength of field this is. I mean, these lap cars. I mean, it takes Jamie Massey several laps to pass a lap guy. I mean, that just right there, that just tells you how strong the field is in general. And just thank all the guys at DWR putting us on, having fun with it. Might try to run Friday. I'm not sure if we will or not. Thank you for the broadcast as always. I got to thank Chad Peterbaugh. Made me this wrap. Pretty cool looking AI sharks he's doing. He helped me out with that. And thanks to my parents. I think they were watching tonight, and everybody that watches and supports this thing. And I don't know, I'm having a lot of fun with this. I think all the guys are too. So hopefully we can keep it rolling. It's nice having some stress-free fun.
Absolutely, brother. Well, Tyler, we can't wait to see you back out there on the racetrack next Wednesday or potentially Friday night, and maybe right back up here in the broadcast booth, maybe one spot better and up in victory lane yourself. Congrats on the great run. We can't wait to see you back out there in the next one.
Yeah, thanks, man. And shout out to Marcos for getting third too. That was a really good run for him. He's seems like he's been getting a lot faster lately the last couple of weeks. So shout out to him.
Yeah, good shout out there. great run for him, great run for yourself, both coming from the back of the pack, and hopefully next week Friday we don't have to see you guys come from that deep in the field, and maybe putting yourselves right back up here into the boot.
All right, brother. Catch you next week.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for T-Jack Tyler Jackson. Coming home there in position number 2. Here this afternoon, T-Jack with a great run, a strong performance here this evening, and parking that 8 ride back up on the podium. As ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we can't thank you guys enough for tuning in and showing the love here this evening. Is some great racing action here all afternoon, man. These guys put on a heck of a show, heck of a race here, lap after lap after lap, man. The battling was just absolutely nonstop, was just absolutely insane. Every single corner, every single side-to-side battle out there on the racetrack, man, was a ton of fun to watch, and we can't thank you guys enough for tuning in and showing the love here this evening, and we'll see you guys back out there on the racetrack tomorrow night as the Hyper Shift Racing League will go to battle here tomorrow evening, so some more racing action here on Peacemaker Gaming, and we can't wait to see each and every one of you, hopefully right back up here in the grandstands cheering these drivers on and enjoying some more racing action here on Peacemaker Gaming. But thank you all for watching, thank you all for tuning in, and we'll see you all in the next one. Peace out for now, baby. Peace out for now, ladies and gentlemen. Whoo! What a run, what a race!
Rip the night, burning bright, yeah, no stop. Wheels screaming, spit that fire, dirt and gravel, they pop. Oh, slick under the street lights, the shadows start to dance. Adrenaline like thunder, man, give me that last chance. Wednesday night, street fights, racing for the win. Broken steel and busted dreams, we wear it on our skin. Smell the fumes, taste the danger, hold tight to the wheel. This ain't no love song, baby, this is raw real. Crowds gather up like wolves, howling for that speed. Races, blood pumping fast, gasoline is all they need. Tracks alive like a monster, the dirt flies and bends. Ruthless turns, hard turns, savage till the night ends. Wednesday night, street fights, racing for the win. Broken steel and busted dreams, we wear it on our skin. Smell the fumes, taste the danger, hold tight to the wheel. This ain't no love song, baby, this is raw real. Underneath the moonlight, crowds roar so loud. Pride's in the throttle, not in faces of a crowd. A brotherhood of metal, sweat, gears that grind. Cross that line or get left behind. Cold air cuts the dawn, still our fires rage. Holding bruises like trophies, exhaling battle cage. The stands are empty now, but the ghosts they remain. This dirt track story sings forever in our veins. Wednesday night, street fights, racing for the win. the night burning bright, yeah, no stop. Wheels scream and spit that fire, dirt and gravel, they pop. Oh, slick under the street lights, the shadows start to dance. Adrenaline like thunder, man, give me that last chance. Wednesday night, street fights, racing for the win. Broken steel and busted dreams, we wear it on our skin. Smell the fumes, taste the danger, hold tight to the wheel. This ain't no love song, baby, this is raw real. Crowds gather up like wolves, howling for that speed. Races blood pumping fast, gasoline is all they need. Tracks alive like a monster, the dirt flies and bends. Ruthless turns, heart turns savage till the night ends. Wednesday night, street fights, racing for the win. Broken steel and busted dreams, we wear it on our skin. Smell the fumes, taste the danger, hold tight to the wheel. This ain't no love song, baby, this is raw real. Underneath the moonlight, crowds roar so loud. Pride's in the throttle, not in faces of a crowd. A brotherhood of metal, sweat, gears that grind. Cross that line or get left behind. Cold air cuts the dawn, still our fires rage. Holding bruises like trophies, exhaling battle cage. The stands are empty now,